there, I'm Jeanette Lane for Die Cutting Essentials, and in today's video I wanted to show you how to make this really cute, really easy, partially die cut teapot card. And I did this using the Tattered Lace Design die set, Tea Party die set, that's included in the latest issue of Die Cutting Essentials, which is issue 48. This card is super easy, and what's great is that you can apply this technique to other dies that you might have in your stash. So let's get started. So here is the Tattered Lace die set, and pardon this little tear there, that will not be on your copy. I was just a little bit too excited. So what we're going to do first is measure our die, because we want our card base to be the same size, the same height as our die. And this is especially important to measure your die if you're going to be using any other dies that you have in your stash. So you can't cut your card base larger than your die because otherwise it's not going to stand. So what you're going to want to do is take your card base color. Let me move these out of the way so it's not confusing. So I'm going to be using purple. So what I'm doing is just lining up my die on the bottom edge of my paper, and then the top here, I'm going to just place my ruler kind of on top of it so I can see just how tall this is. So that will do there. So now I can trim this down. So according to my pencil mark on my cardstock, our die is 3.5 inches tall. So that's the height of our card base. And now I'm going to add my scoring accessory to my trimmer so that I can just roughly score my paper in half. And I'll trim off this excess just to make everything a little bit easier. So I've trimmed off that excess, and this is what my card base looks like now. So now it's time to partially die cut our card. So I'm going to open this up like this, and I'm going to place the edge of the handle here, so the edge of the die. I'm going to place it right over that score line, and I'm going to use a bit of washi tape so that this doesn't budge. So here's my die washi taped to my cardstock, and as you can see, just the handle there is just a little bit over that score line, and if I folded it back, so if I closed my card, you could see just a gap there. So you don't want to run it through like this because you're going to get, well, you can if you just want like a teapot shaped card, but if you do it like this with it open, you can get some like a really fun partially die cut card. So I'm just going to place this on my platform, and I'm going to line up the score line here. So that edge that I don't want my machine to cut, I'm going to line up that edge there, and then I'm going to place my other cutting blade, sorry, my other cutting pad right on top. So this is what my sandwich looks like up close, and you can see that my paper and that die edge is just hanging off of the platform because I don't want any cutting pressure on that, because otherwise it's going to cut right through. So we're just going to run this through, and I'm using a Sizzix Big Shot Fold Away. So your card should look something like this, and what we can do now is trim off this excess. So there is our card thus far. That's what it looks like. And then I'm just going to fold this over like this, and we're going to have our freestanding little teapot card. But first I want to die cut the intricate detail in this teapot, which is like the signature look of Tattered Lace. So what we're going to do is run this through. So we're going to line this up and then run it through our die cutting machine. And I'm also going to add the die with the aperture for the handle here. So that's going to give us a really fun little detail on our teapot. And then I'm just going to run this through my die cutting machine normally. I'm using my Sizzix die brush, which is great for getting that fallout out of your intricate dies quickly and easily. And also it's so easy to just take off the little papers, the little fallout that's stuck in your die set. So here is what our little teapot looks like now. Absolutely stunning. And now what I want to do is take the teapot outline and die cut a piece of vellum so that I can just back this teapot with a soft, like I really love the softness that vellum can add to a project. So it's going to make a perfect background for our intricate teapot. So here is my vellum, and I'm going to glue that there, and you're going to also have to just trim off that little excess right at that edge. And I'm going to attach the vellum to the back of the background of my intricate teapot with a little bit of Cosmic Shimmer Dries Clear Glue. I'm going to set that aside to dry, and what I'm going to do next is die cut the party sentiment, which is included in the die set, and also this really cute little tea bag. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some navy blue cardstock, a little scrap of it, to die cut the sentiment, and I'm going to take some pink, like a little light pink cardstock to die cut the tea bag. So here I've made a tiny little delicate bow out of some white twine that I wanted to add to the tea bag. So I'm just going to put a dot of glue there and add my little bow and set that aside to dry. So now comes the most difficult part of this whole project, and that is determining the width of your card. So right now our card stands like this, and you can trim this down quite a bit. You know, you can just have the teapot there as the star, but if you wanted to add like a little sentiment here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a party sentiment, but I also wanted to add some mats first, but you can just add a party sentiment there, or maybe you can die cut a few of these little tea bags and kind of stack them, layer them here on top of each other. That would also be really cute. Or you could also use, like, I don't know, little macarons and like stack those up. Lots of possibilities. So that's why that's literally the hardest part of this project, is determining how wide you want this. So I am pretty happy with the width. Yeah, I think I'm loving the width. And what I'm going to do now is create some mats and layers for the back of this card. So I've trimmed one more mat. I wanted a little bit more layers there, and so this is just a piece of light blue cardstock, and then I just trimmed this down to fit this size card here. And again, these mats and layers will vary in size depending, again, how wide you decide you want that card background to be. So I'm ready to mount my sentiment and also my tea bag. And my tea bag, I wanted it to have a little bit more dimension, so I'm using some foam tape for the back of it, just so that it pops off right off of the little teapot here. So there's my little tea bag with the bow, and we're just gonna put it right there, right on the teapot. And then my sentiment, I think I'm gonna go with the, let's see, do I want it vertically again? Maybe I do. Okay, I'm really loving the vertical look. I usually put my sentiments horizontally, so being a little wild here and putting that sentiment vertically again on my card. And then I wanted to add some colored pearls to right here, just this top edge, for some interest. So I put some glue down, so 3 little dots of glue, and I'm just going to put down some purple, some like really light purple pearls. And I'm just using the edge of my ruler to kind of push these into line so that they're in a straight line. And I'm done with my partially die cut card. Super easy, and it stands up on its own with that intricate teapot at the front as the star of our card. I hope that you enjoyed that easy tutorial, and don't forget to pick up your copy of Die Cutting Essentials issue 48 so that you can get that stunning tattered lace tea party die set and make some really fun and easy cards. I'm Jeanette Lane for Die Cutting Essentials. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial, and I'll see you in a video real soon.